last night.
Really?
Yeah. It
Nice.
wasn't horrible.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what I have to say about it. Was
It wasn't.
well,
It wasn't awful.
Grind them copper nodes.
Oh
huh?
yeah.
EverQuest,
Oh, dude, I used to play EverQuest back in the day.
right? I like EverQuest better in my life.
That is entirely
But
fair.
so far, it's cute,
That is
silly.
entirely fair.
I'm playing it just for shits and giggles. I had the guy who used to live with us. He bought me the expansion monthly thing.
Like, for-
So I'm like, okay, for WoW.
oh, nice.
So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Isn't WoW free now or?
It's free to
No,
level
no.
20.
Okay, yeah, that was it. That is fair. I think I stopped playing WoW right after. What is the Ice? The Lich one? I don't remember.
Oh, okay. I have no idea. Like, I don't know WoW very well.
Yeah, it's fair. Burning? No. Dang it. I can't even remember. That was ages ago.
I wasn't really the target demographic for WoW. I played it to
Yeah.
the max level, and then I was like, I won, and I walked away.
I won. I'm gone. Yeah, I know, right? That's not how you play
Huh?
WoW. You're supposed to keep going back.
See, like, I never played WoW because I was like, it was kind of like that thing that you're like, you're a disgrace. You're a new game and you're a disgrace.
Yeah. You're from South Park.
Exactly. Yep. That episode was so epic. My dad found that episode. My dad was like, no, you gotta watch this. And I watched it. It was really good.
What? Who is he murdering in there?
My bed frame.
Oh. Well, may it rest in peace.
Man,
He
I don't have
said,
any.
"May it rest in peace." He goes, "I'm gonna kill something."
Yeah, I hear. The bed frame.
Yeah, he's struggling pretty good there. All right, he's good.
Don't get mad, Sam. Get glad.
He said, "Don't get mad, get glad."
Oh no, I'm an American.
Not mad, you're mad.
Why you mad, bro?
Why you mad, bro?
Jesus.
Ow, that hurt my heart.
Oh. And probably the floor too.
I'm sad. I think Jesse took the brownies away.
Oh yeah, he did. He took him to mom.
Oh,
Oh, it made me sad. I understand she wants brownies too, but I was very sad when he took them. They were delicious. I don't need any more brownies though. That's for damn sure.
No, I respect that.
I know. What is that? A mouse?
guinea pig.
That's close. Don't murder the guinea pig, Draw, please.
No, the guinea pig just is begging for food. She's a shit. She's like a total shit. She's like, if you walk by her cage or if you open the fridge next to her, she'll start squeaking and looking at you like, I'm getting something out of there, right? So her hearing and wrestling the plastic is making her like squeak.
You know, I would.
Because like bags, like opening bags.
Mm-hmm.
She's so a shit. I love her, but she's total a shit.
How many animals do you have?
You don't want to know.
Yeah, that's fair. I would probably not be able to sleep in that place.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's better. But, like, we had 2 cats, 2 dogs, 2 guinea pigs, and 2 children.
You get a pair of each.
So you,
And I only stored them on some of
so,
that.
so eight
Huh?
so 8 kids or so eight animals.
Yeah.
Well,
Sam says he only wants some of that lot.
I hope this doesn't mean you're gonna disapprove of the pair of ducks I got you for Christmas.
No, they can go in the backyard. It's
oh dear. Well, hey, welcome. Hey, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to East of Anime, a podcast where we talk about anime. I'm one of your hosts. I'm the Big Bad Moon. Right over here on the right is Hallen3D. She's one of your other hosts. And just below me is Bad Strategy. He's one of your other hosts. How are you guys doing today? Hi. Hey, Hallen. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fabulous. Fabulous, because I don't have any pets. Except for Noah. I have him.
He's your pet.
He cooks.
You're precious. My precious.
I don't know if I'd go that far. Hey, Ben, how you doing?
I'm good. I am good. Ish.
Entirely
A bit uncertain, maybe.
kind of uncomfortable, but that is understandable. But hey, so today we're going to be talking about you know what? I was so tired. I didn't modify any of this at all. We're episode 59. Let me just change it. So, Hallen, what are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to be talking about how we reviewed anime and like what we found
true.
cool and what was awesome and what sucked and all the goodness and all the crapness that we can laugh at.
Dora was best anime.
Oh, that's
Yes.
fighting words.
He said them fighting words. He clapped.
Troll.
Right.
What a
Chose
troll.
the troll.
All right. Yes. So today we have a very fun, and special, and exciting episode. We're going to be talking about the best of anime, all the anime ever. That's not true. We don't have that much anime.
All our anime.
But all the stuff that
Troll.
we've watched on the show, which is not a insignificant number of shows. It's not. I believe we're on episode 49 right now. It's not 49 different shows. We've done some shows twice because we decided to do some shows twice. And we did a couple of like films, and then we did like some short form stuff. But
We
we're
may
gonna
have
be
done Trigun 3 times.
we may have done Trigun 3 times for 3 episodes, just for Troa, just for him.
Oh, he knows. He knows.
And then we did Cowboy Bebop. I don't know if we did that once or twice. I don't remember. And then we did some of them we did way back. And I kind of wish we could do them again. Kind of, because
We'll
I
have
feel
to-
like,
some of them I think we should revisit.
yeah, I think we should revisit Kill la Kill someday. Because I love Kill la Kill. It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't. Anyways, that's a tough question. That is a tough one.
People just want to watch Kill la Kill.
I just want to watch Kill la Kill again because it's a great show. That's all. Okay. So I guess without further ado, without further gilding the lily, and with no more ado, we're going to go ahead and talk about some of our best of anime, of the shows we've watched, starting with one of our favorite subjects in the whole world, opening credits. So bad. Opening credits. These are really important. Why though? What makes a good set of opening credits?
So, okay. I suppose the opening credits set the tone.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes, if they're delayed, they break up the action and they give the audience a moment to take in what's just occurred. And sometimes they have narrative significance, and that narrative significance usually becomes more clear as you progress through the show.
Yeah. So okay,
So,
I'm going to add something there to what you just said. So you're saying sometimes it breaks up the action. So I think what you're talking about is what in writing is called a cold start.
Oh.
So a cold
Okay.
start A cold
Yeah.
start is you got to tell a story. You got to have a show. You got to have whatever. And there is a bunch of stuff that has to happen. But it's not catching and it's not interesting and it takes a while to say it all. And you don't want to start on that. So oftentimes, and this is a technique used in all kinds of film and all kinds of movies, all kinds of stuff, you open up with a scene that is exciting, that's interesting, that's relevant to the plot. So you open on something really interesting that's going to hook the audience. And then at the very end of it, there's a little bit of a cliffhanger. And then you roll the credits. And then you move into the start of your show where you meet your main character and they have their normal life or whatever. And then they, begin the show. So that's a cold start. Classic thing. All the time happening with animes, all the time happening with TV shows. Very, very good way to throw your credits in is you have a cold start. Right after the cold start, throw the credits in the front.
Right. I kind of like when they do that.
Oh yeah, it's a great technique.
I like it a lot. It's Steins Gate pops to mind.
Yeah, Steins Gate does pop to mind. Helen, what do you like about the most about an opening credits?
For me, like if the opening credits are listening to the music that they are using. Like when you see, I hate when you see music on an opening credit and it just doesn't feel right. Like it's not hitting, it doesn't match. Like it makes you, it's jarring for an audience.
It's gotta be tonally appropriate.
Right, because like you walk into it and it's like, okay, it's not hitting music, it's not communicating, it's just, oh, we like this song and we like our anime, but they don't go together.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a major important part of the opening credits is you got to set the expectations for the show, and there's not much that you can do that's as effective as getting a really good song in your opening credits.
Exactly.
So, something I feel is tone setting's very important.
Yeah.
But the tone setting, largely you won't notice it unless it's bad, unless it contrasts the tone of the show too much.
That's true. That's very true.
My favorite thing in opening credits is I love the cold start to a delayed opening. I also really, really love when the opening credits tell a narrative that is independent of the story, but set within the universe to help build the tone.
Absolutely.
I think so. I think perhaps the two best opening credits are My Hero Academia and Konosuba. And My Hero Academia, its opening credits are riddled. They're filled to the brim with like significant, meaningful statements about what's going to happen and the characters and their interactions and their development. And Konosuba, straight up, the opening credits are like a mini episode of Konosuba with no dialogue,
which is awesome.
And it's so good because because Konosuba is such a thematically dependent show it has such a delightful tone, and in setting up the idea, like showing the audience that there are adventures happening in the background, like between episodes, really helps to fill out the show.
I will say for Konosuba, I think season 2 is the episode that has the really good opening credits. Season 1 is okay. Season 2 is awesome. So that being said, let's talk about our picks for opening credits. We have 6 picks for opening credits. These aren't in any order, so we have a bunch of random categories. We've gone through a bunch of different categories of things that are the best of. We can't choose the best of anime that's like the best anime overall because a lot of anime, they have a lot of different stuff going on. They have a lot of different really wonderful attributes to them. And so picking a best of is kind of hard in that respect. So we're just doing some best of for the different aspects of the show. So for opening credits, our number 1, now again, not in any particular order, first one on the list of the best opening credits is My Hero Academia. Yay, this one, it's hard. I don't think you can put a list of best opening credits shows together for anime without
season?
My Hero. Well, and here's the thing. No particular season with My Hero because My Hero is...
There was at least 2 I didn't like.
That's fair. Two like opening credits
Yeah,
I think they had 2 or
weren't
3 per
terrible,
season.
but it wasn't like.
So My Hero has such a giant volume of different opening credits that are almost all, and I think all of them are perfectly passable, and a large portion of them are really good. I think probably one of the ones that sticks out the most is season 2. Our opening credits 1. I don't remember. So My Hero, they have so many different opening credits that are awesome. It had to be on the list. Our number 2 is Kill la Kill Season 2.
It was really good.
Kill la Kill Season 2 is fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
Or number 3 on the list is Ghost in a Shell Standalone Complex.
Bad to the booty. Still close to my heart.
Also interesting because it did some 3D animation super early on. So certainly maybe a little innovative for the time, but has some really great imagery in that opening credits. If you watch the Ghost in a Shell standalone complex credits, has some really wonderful imagery in there. Number 4, one of my favorites, Steins Gate. Steins Gate has such good credits.
I'm biased because I like cogs.
Yeah, that's true.
Travel.
If you like cogs and time travel, the Steins Gate opening credits.
There are cogs in Promised Neverland. So what was wrong with the Promised Neverland?
You know, that's a great question. Maybe we'll tackle it at some point.
There.
I liked the floor tracking at the beginning of the Promised Neverland OP. I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree with that. That was a cool moment, and I remember noticing that at the time, at the very beginning of Promised Neverland, which is not on this list, by the way. You like track along the floor as if there's something down close to the floor, running along it. Right? That was very interesting.
It's good for a horror theme. Yeah.
So then number 5 is Baccano.
Baccano was sick.
Baccano.
It's very charming. It's weird. It's lively. It's kind of wacky. I kind of wish that I had the ability. I don't, to show some of the opening credits on here. I don't know how to do that. I can't do that. If I didn't work so much, maybe I could have spent some time and figured it out. Uh-oh.
Give me a sec.
Okay.
I got you, boo. I got you.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
I do. I got you. All right, give me 2 seconds.
The Baccano
No.
opening does an excellent job of showing the personality of the character, of the enormous cast of characters.
Oh yeah, it's a huge cast of characters. Well, and it's kind of a. There are a lot of points where it's kind of a wacky show because there's just so much going on, and I think it has like kind of a jazzy thing going on. Super fun. Just a fun set of credits.
Yeah, actually, I think that's something they really nail in the Baccano opening that I'd forgotten was they really convey the personality of each of the characters as they show them in the credits.
Oh my God, there's a thing up on our.
Oh my goodness.
I'm a half on and a half off the screen though. You're gonna throw some credits on here. All right, why don't you do that? And I'm going to try to fix my head here.
No, wait.
This is just the music.
Damn it.
Huh.
Give me a sec. I got it. I'm special, but I got it.
That's okay.
There you
I'm
go.
pretty special too.
Do you see it?
You know, Oh wait. Oh no, it's in my Discord. I'm doing some magic experimentation. So, I think we're gonna switch back because it's
I'll turn it off.
It's not quite perfectly ideal, but
Yeah. I mean, it would be cool if we set up the fourth caption to be run this way.
Right?
That is true.
Exactly.
And I apologize. I probably should have thought about doing that. But really, the only category we're doing anything like that, we would do anything like that for, is the opening credits. So we'll just unfortunately skip over it. So the last one, our number 6 in our list of the best opening credits, is going to be Konosuba Season 2. As you said, fantastic, funny, charming, and also just a really lovable set of credits. Like, it just makes you happy watching them. It's all the characters goofing around and doing some wacky thing. Reflects very much the show, the tone of the show and what it's all about, which is delightful. I got this picture of what was the last show we did?
We did East of Eden.
I have this.
Or Eden of the East.
I
Sorry.
have this picture of Eden of the East over here. I'll have to change it. But okay, let's talk about characters. So, best of characters. Now, that's a really broad category. We only have 3 here, just because they were really delightful. Our number 1, which was probably the first thing that came to mind, is Nanachi from Made in Abyss. Mandy, tell me about Nanachi.
Nanachi has such a sad story. Like, she's like best friends with her counterpart best friend, and her best friend gets transformed, and she has to decide whether to kill her or not. But she's also immortal, so it's really hard to kill her. And she doesn't want her friend living in a gloopish state. And so it's heartbreaking.
It is very, very heartbreaking.
That's the best way I know how to describe it.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's a tremendously heartbreaking story. Probably one of the most tragic stories I've ever seen in an anime. I think I'll just rerun through the shtick of basically what you said is this. So Nanachi, her best friend and like best childhood friend is this character named Midi, and they're experimented on by a horrible Nazi German scientist. What is his name? Bondrud?
Bondrud.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Less German sounding name.
less German sounding name. He turns Midi into a horrible immortal blob thing who can't die. And so Midi, she's taken care of by Nanachi, and Nanachi has taken it upon herself to try to end Midi's suffering by killing her. So Nanachi has to kill Midi, which is her only friend in the world, in order to set her free from the horrible thing that's happened to her. It's incredibly sad. But yeah, characters, definitely Nanachi, one of the best ones we've come across. Made me cry like 3 times.
It's also always a good tragic tale to have someone's goal in life to be to end the suffering
Right.
of someone else. And
Right.
it's like,
That's
what do you do when you succeed?
Yeah, I know, right?
Exactly.
Well, and that's the thing. The character that our what is the robot boy? Oh my god, I can't remember his name. He says, hey, when Midi's gone, don't kill yourself. Like, don't do that, please. Because well, what else would you do?
I think Nanachi at least wins Best Rabbit.
For sure.
Oh, at the very least. But she is definitely one of the best characters that we've run across in an anime in the last couple years. Okay, number 2 on this list, again, not in any particular order, is Rem. You guessed it. Because Rem from oh gosh, I've lost it.
ReZero.
ReZero. Yes. So Rem is the horrible demon maid girl who's also adorable and becomes the best friend of our hero, Subaru, in ReZero. Rem is a delightful character. So I think if you don't, well, actually, no, I think that actually summed it up pretty well. She's a demon. She works for.
She's a twin demon.
She's a twin demon.
Because twin demons in that realm, they don't get their full horns.
Mhm.
So she only got half her horn.
Right. So she has an interesting plot going on with her sister, with their past and some torment that happened to them. I think one of the things that makes Rem a really great character is because at the beginning of the story, well, at the beginning of when we meet Rem, she is a character that we don't understand and we kind of don't trust. And then it turns out that she murders the main character, Subaru, I think 2 or 3 times, and just does it horribly. And so we're terrified of her. And then the main character, Subaru, wins her trust, and she becomes just emotionally and philosophically indebted to the guy. And so just thinks he's awesome.
She falls in love with him.
And technically falls in love. So I think one of the things that makes her really interesting, a really compelling character, is that she goes from a place of literally murdering him horribly, all the way from being supremely loyal to him and
to sacrificing herself
to protect him, right? Yeah. And that is such a huge arc for her that it's just delightful. It's delightful to watch. So definitely Rem, number 2. Wonderful, wonderful character. And characters number 3, this was a random fun one, and I don't remember her name, the memory girl in Steins Gate. Do you remember? You remember what I'm talking about?
Wait, who are you talking about?
This is what's the kid. She's a woman.
You're talking about the other time traveler.
Yeah, so the other time travel. Suzuha. Yeah, so she in Steins Gate comes back from the future. She is the son of one of the other main characters, but he does not know. And she has a very sad, very interesting story. She was just fun. She tries to go, I think, into the past. She comes from the future, stops in the present.
Where they have a daily death report.
Right. Tries to help in the present, and then goes to the past to try to fix stuff, but then loses her memory, and then grows old, and then passes away before she can meet back up with the main characters in the present. As an old woman, she gets amnesia and forgets about it. But she's a fun character as a bonus character for there. Maybe we'll call her an honorable mention.
That was really well put. I like that.
Mm-hmm. All right. The next category we have is going to be Best Duo. There's only 2 in here.
I feel like there are more, but
there are probably more. We talked at length. We found a bunch of categories, and we came up with what we could. So the best duo, the first one, number 1, is in Mob Psycho 100, Mob and what's the guy, whatever the guy's name is, that is the skeevy con artist that Mob is paired with. Do you remember his name? So basically, Mob Psycho 100, if you don't remember, there is Mob, who is this young kid who has psychic powers to fight off ghosts, and there is a charlatan who pretends to be able to fight off ghosts, who is his mentor. So Mob looks up to him. He's actually a con artist, and brings Mob around to actually do that kind of work that he claims to be able to do himself. It's delightful. It's a wonderful pairing. It's always nice to get a con artist as the main character, because there's such an interesting dynamic. And of course Mob looks up to him, and he of course pretends that he is a supremely powerful psychic, and Mob's like, wow, yeah, he must be really powerful. Delightful little pairing there. But that Mob Psycho 100, we did that one a long time ago. Definitely a solid show though. Season 1, we haven't seen season 2.
Arataka Reagan?
Mm-hmm.
That's the same.
Okay, so number 2, the only other entry in this category, is from Baccano, and it's Maria and Isaac.
Maria and Isaac.
They're the best duo.
Maria and Isaac.
Dear.
Miriam, my dear. They're a wacky, vaguely slapstick group in Bakano, and Bakano's already it's about a train heist, not a heist.
They're a necessary break from the intensity of the other storylines.
Yeah, there are a lot of very intense storylines going on. So basically, if you watch Bakano, everybody's on a train. This train is called the Flying Pussyfoot. It is worst train name of all time. If we should make a category right now. Worst train name. Item number 1, the Flying Pussyfoot. Horrible name. So Maria and Isaac. So basically in Bakano, there's this train moving down or traveling, and there's a bunch of different groups of characters that are all on this train, and they all have various little plots going on. There's like this weird plot where they're immortals that came from England, and they came over to the New World, to set, during the colonization of the U.S. And they're like weird demon things, and so there's like murder and horrible stuff going on. And then every so often it breaks to Maria and Isaac, or is it Maria? Marion? Oh, Mary. Oh yeah, I remember Miriam and Isaac. And they're these wacky like characters who are just like they're trying to rob people and make money. And they're a little bit slapstick. They're always very. How would you describe them, personality wise?
They're dense, and they're trying to be thieves, and they fail, but they don't fail because they're so duncy.
They're both completely clueless, but Isaac always pretends to know to look good for Miriam.
Right.
So every time she's like, "How does this work?" and he's like, "Oh, well, let me see."
Right. Yeah. And I think also he's they're like aren't they like very happily married or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're the only like. I guess Jacuzzi's pretty innocent, but they're the most innocent characters in the show. Where even the children in the show are like bitter, like old immortals who are like, "I hate this. I will kill them."
And if you're talking about Jacuzzi, I think one of Jacuzzi's thing is he's involved in the mob, and his friend got like murdered in a drive-by, and it's really dark. So, Marion and Isaac are a much-needed bit of levity for Bakano.
It's also nice because they're woven into and out of all the other storylines.
Yeah, so they show up here and there. Yeah, it was very good.
So I haven't finished watching Darker Than Black, but somebody said Hai and Yin from Darker Than Black season 1 best duo. Have you guys seen that?
I have not.
I watched it way back. I don't remember it very super well.
Yeah,
I just wanted to bring it up because it was in chat. We should maybe put that on the
that is fair. So, we're looking at... Okay, that is all for our best duo. Unless you can, of course, add Hai and Yin from Darker Than Black, Season 1. I haven't seen it, but apparently they're a pretty good duo. The next one on our list is... We only have 2 options again. Best Girl. So there's only 2 best girls.
We only have 2 best girls.
There's only 2 best girls. Well, we're talking about like best girl, right?
Best.
What do you? Okay. So there's 2 on the list. Bad. What is your best girl? If you had to choose one.
Oh, good lord, I don't know. I think part of the issue is I often give best girl to. I think I don't know because I can't remember, but I think I usually give best girl to a side character, and side characters just vanish from my memory.
Yeah,
once
no, that's very fair.
The show, which is kind of tragic because then it's hard to. Yeah.
Helen, who would you say is best girl of the anime?
Konosuba, the main guy. Hilarious.
Hey. What is his name? I can't even remember.
I don't know, but he's best girl.
Or no?
Yeah, Subaru.
No, that's in
ReZero.
Wait, Konosuba. What's his name?
ReZero
is his name Konosuba?
I don't think his name is Konosuba. Maybe it is though. I don't remember. That was a while back. Well, okay, I'll tell you what we decided the other day over Thai
Yeah,
food.
no, wait, it's Sato Kazuma. Sato Kazuma.
Oh yeah, I remember that. We picked two best girls. Puck from ReZero
Puck is amazing. Yeah.
because Puck is awesome, and I think my best girl, Bakugo from My Hero Academia.
Yeah. Bakugo.
You love My Hero much.
It's a good show.
Well, Bakugo is such a great character because he is an antagonist who's constantly beside and competing with the protagonist, and he's frequently like the villain of the arc.
Oh yeah.
But you just love him.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
he's just great, and you
He's
feel
so angry.
for him.
Yeah,
and
no,
like
totally.
you see his backstory of him being like an unapologetic, like just like villain, but then you're like, oh, but Bakugo.
Yeah, totally. And, you know,
Right.
and it's funny. There's so many great things going on with Bakugo. He's kind of he has this weird friendship with
You understand where
Midoriya.
he's coming from.
You understand where he's coming from. One of the things I love about Bakugo as an antagonist, as a counterbalance to Midoriya, is that Bakugo and Midoriya have the exact same goals. They both want to be the world's #1 hero, and Bakugo is just like angrier.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Bakugo's a character that even if you disagree with him, you understand why he's doing what he's
Oh, totally.
doing, which is
And you also really want him and Midoriya
Just like
to be
Steve.
friends. The
And-
whole show,
yeah.
because you're like, God, you guys are so similar. If you could just stop, like, focusing on yourself, you could see the friendship right in front of you.
They play that out with the dad being the number 2
Oh, yeah, totally.
hero,
Yep.
and that's really
Yeah,
cool.
and it's
Really,
yeah.
like-
There's great mirroring with Midoriya and All Might being the #1 hero, and Bakugo and his father being the number 2 hero.
no. The number 2 hero is Flame Guy.
Yeah,
right.
that's Bakugo's
Yeah,
father.
that's
No, wait, Flame Guy.
No,
Flame Guy.
No, that's Ice.
is Icy Hot's
Half.
father.
Oh, is Icy Hot's father? Right. Wait, are you sure? Oh man, I'm
Yes.
so.
Yeah, Bakugo's
Yes.
father is.
Bakugo's father has nothing to
Do
do
we
with
see
it.
Bakugo's father?
I don't even
His
remember
mom?
anymore.
I think we've seen
I
him
think
once.
we see his father.
That's fair.
But like
okay.
they mirror that.
But
yeah,
competitiveness?
it's mirrored. It's not exactly the same.
Yeah,
it
it's
has
a- it's an
been
important.
several
it's an
years
important-
since we've seen that.
It's an important theme in My Hero. The idea of the focus on rivalry.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe some are more healthy than others.
Exactly. But yeah, so I think Bakugo. Anybody have anything to add for best girl?
God, I don't know. I feel like this is a category that I can't do justice to because
You really
I
can't.
forget,
A lot of these
I forget
are.
all the side characters.
So,
I need,
and
like,
this
a
is-
list of-
Ultimately, this is one of the things too. Is that when you're choosing something to award a show like Best Girl, which is kind of a goofy award in general, an important award, but a little bit of a goofy award. You can't it's hard to stack up characters from different shows next to one another because so much of the time, like Bakugo, I don't think is anything without the rest of the characters in the show. Like the other one, Puck. I don't think Puck is really much of anything without his relationship to what is it? The witch? What's the main girl's name?
Amelia.
Amelia. Yeah. Or with Puck's interactions with Subaru. Like so.
I mean, the reason I think
Contextually.
Puck is best girls. The reason Puck is best girl is because of his interactions with Subaru, hands down. Like,
Yeah, they're
think that's-
delightful and fun. And also much needed levity because ReZero gets dark sometimes.
It gets dark.
I don't know if you've seen that show, but it can get dark.
Woo.
Okay, let's move on. There's only one in the next category, waifu. Who is the waifu, the anime waifu? And you guys can choose your own. I have one written down here. I think a lot of us agreed on it. The best waifu in anime is, for me, Jet from Cowboy Bebop. God,
Yep,
what a
that
guy.
was it.
Grows little bonsai trees on the ship.
He's just a good
Just
person.
a good,
He's always
solid
there.
guy. Always doing the logistics and cooking. If you want someone that'll cook for you,
Noah or Bad, whatever. I don't know.
hey, you there, in the bottom left corner.
I mean, it's true. I feel the same way I
Bottom
feel
left?
before. It's like, I feel like I'm not doing justice to a lot of good waifus.
Oh, totally,
I
totally.
can't-
And it's really hard, and that's why I asked you. Like, there's a lot of great waifus. How do you choose? And again, contextually for the show, who's like the best waifu in Kill la Kill, and the best waifu in ReZero, and the best waifu in, any number of shows.
I have to say, like, freaking the librarian in Ancient Magus Bride was like
I don't
really.
I don't even
up
remember
there.
the librarian Ancient Magus Bride.
He was so cool. He was like, he had her back. I don't know.
And damn girl, that's awesome. Okay, we're gonna move on. Best villains. Also a category with only one. This one.
Wait. This one we should have more.
That's true. There are some wonderful villains out there. Mostly, I think we ran out of time. Was one of the issues we had the other time when we got together. We got together. We had Thai food. We talked about anime.
Perhaps we shouldn't put them in because they've won other. They were in other categories, but
That's true.
Grim and Bakugo both fit into this category.
I think the problem is
Well-
with the villain, you want a really good, solid antagonist,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like most of the animes we watched had antagonists, but they weren't.
You know what I think it is?
It wasn't a good contrast.
I think it's that the writers for a lot of the shows we watched couldn't conceptualize what the actual antagonistic force that was causing the protagonist not to succeed was well enough to write a good antagonist.
That's true. So this is a difficult thing because I think this is a really common thing that happens with the bad guy, with villains, with antagonists in shows or in movies or anything. Is a lot of the time it'll get super simplified. To the bad guy is a bad guy because they want to do bad stuff. And if you have a writer that's maybe a little bit more experienced, what they will try to do is make it so the bad guy is justified, that it makes sense what they're doing. They're not just being the bad guy. And when you get a writer that is really, really exceptional, you get a bad guy who thinks not only that they're justified, but thinks that they're the good guy.
Right.
And can justify and tell you why they're the good guy and why the good guy in the story is working against them and why that guy is actually kind of the bad guy. You know what I'm saying?
So if we can reach outside of anime for an example,
Oh yeah.
I think Phantom of the Opera, the Phantom,
Sure.
is an excellent villain because he is built up to be like the perfect person. He's like a flawless character and he's amazing at everything.
Right.
And he's like incredibly intelligent, and yet he is still clearly the villain and clearly in the wrong.
Yeah, totally. Oh, and then I think that someone just did a great one in chat. Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog, if you've seen it.
Yeah.
That's
So
a
good.
great...
It's
great
so
character.
good.
I'm actually surprised someone mentioned that in chat because that's the
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like,
That's
he
insane.
is the good guy, but really he's actually, that's a great example of the fact, like that character in Dr. Horrible. He is the protagonist, but he's also a villain bent on the destruction of society. And he gives some great reasons why he's doing that.
Yeah, it's also a good contrast with the Phantom of the Opera because Dr. Horrible, the sing-along blog, is the Phantom of the Opera story if the Phantom didn't stop himself at the end. If he carried through, yeah.
Right.
So
So that one for best villain, that's a tough one. We'll probably not name any particular villains, but there are some really good ones out there.
we're not naming any particular.
Well,
ones?
we have one, and honestly, so that one on the list is Bondrewd from Made in Abyss, who is
we
the
didn't
horrible
really
Nazi
get- yeah,
scientist.
fair. I like Bondrewd.
He's a good bad guy. He's
think-
not
I
the
think-
best bad guy.
I think he wins best boss fight in manga, but
That's true. That is true.
okay. I'll propose an antagonist that I really like.
Okay, shoot,
It
please.
is Kill la Kill, the protagonist's sister, who gives the speech about how contradiction is truth, and
That's not. Is
Wait.
that her sister?
that's her sister, right?
I don't
I
think,
think
so.
so.
Maybe in the end they reveal that, but we don't know
It's
that
revealed
through.
later on.
Okay, yeah. I just remember her as being a different character.
I don't remember her name.
She is a good villain.
But-
She's a good villain because you understand what she's doing. And she's doing it for the good of humankind. Totally.
I like her. All right.
All right, we're going to move on to writing. We're going to actually try to scooch through some of these other categories a little bit fast. And then we have, I think, the awards that we really, really enjoyed, which are the one-shot awards. So the next one is writing. We have four in this one. So the best writing we've seen over the course of doing the show is, again, no particular order. Number 1, Made in Abyss. Wonderful writing, wonderful show, wonderful world, and wonderful characters. Number 2, ReZero. We've talked about that a bunch. Great show, great characters, wonderful mystery, a wonderful tone. Definitely recommend it. Number 3, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. This has some of the best tonal writing ever for like the first half of the show. That's what I'd say. It changes significantly once the character runs into gets a larger party of characters, but like the first half of the show is awesome. And number 4, Kill la Kill. For Kill la Kill does this thing in its writing where it walks this incredibly fine line between being serious and being absurd. And it does it so well. It's as absurd, I think, as you can get with a show and still like be a good show. So that is the 4 best shows we have for writing. The most okay, we do have one shot award here. That's the most evil girl, as opposed to the best girl. The most evil girl is the cat from Madoka Magica, Kube. Kube, yeah, that's very true. I hate that. That is a horrible animal, or alien thing, whatever.
Whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Then we have, as opposed to, we have a lot more of these actually. As opposed to the waifu, we have the Don't Marry Her awards. And the number 1 on this list is either Michiko or Hachin. I definitely would not marry either of them. It's a terrible idea. Number 2 is Mine from Shield Hero, who seems to be a very immoral person.
It's not Mine. They rename her. Her name is Trash or not Trash.
We didn't watch
Whore.
the renaming.
Wait. Oh dear.
You guys didn't watch that part?
No, we watched it. It happened later than halfway through.
Oh, did it? Mm-hmm. So, not a person I'd marry. Then number 3 is the cigarette girl in Fooly Cooly.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Very,
she's perfect. I love that character. She is so like.
it's very unhealthy.
Just like she's just got warning signs stamped all over her personality.
Yeah, very very unhealthy person. All right, our next category is going to be best art direction. So that's a little bit vague, but I think it generally stands. Best art direction number 1, Made in Abyss. Wonderful art direction, wonderful world.
Very distinct, very novel.
Probably because it came out of a manga.
Well, it came from a manga where the person who produced the manga could be reasonably classified as an artist,
like
rather
a
than
good
just
artist.
as a manga creator. Well, I actually don't think you can classify most manga creators as artists, because most manga creators are aiming to emulate manga styles.
That's
the Made in
fair.
Abyss person is like experimenting and doing weird things and like expressing themselves with their art.
They are a really
it's
fabulous
not-
artist.
You can't make the claim that Made in Abyss is emulating like other styles in Yeah.
So
That's fair.
clever. It's so
What-
clever.
I will say who is and isn't an artist is definitely a conversation to have for another time. But I do generally agree with your sentiment there. But yeah, so best art direction, one of them, Made in Abyss. Number 2, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba. Again, sorry if we repeat these. Some of these shows are just really good. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba has a really wonderful art style, especially opening credits, like you were saying, I believe has a bunch of that very classic Japanese pen and ink looking waves when he swings his sword. Some really wonderful. The clothing in it is awesome. They have
my
like
God.
pleated shirts and vests.
They win best clothing in anime.
Best
agree.
clothing in anime for sure. But really
Somebody in
wonderful art
chat-
direction.
Well, Tro in chat said best girl is Gabby from Attack on Titan.
You get out of here, Troa.
I don't think we did Attack on Titan, did we?
Did we do Attack on Titan?
We may have.
I think we
What?
we
Maybe
watched
sing it
Attack
then?
on Titan. I don't know if we reviewed it for this show though. We might have watched it, but not for the show. But okay, so Demon Slayer, number 3. Oh, she's only in the latest season of that, by the way. Of
I don't
Attack on
know
Titan.
who he's talking about.
No, nobody really knows what Tro's talking about ever, so just ignore him. It's fine. Number 3 on the best art direction is Bakano. It's got really good art direction. I think that's kind of enough said. And the number 4 one is a movie. One of the only movies that we watched over the course of the show, and it's Paprika.
Paprika!
Yes.
Didn't we watch? We watched a silent.
We did watch A Silent Voice. I think we watched 2 or 3 movies over 49 episodes. We've done 2 or 3 movies. But Paprika, which I believe was Satoshi Kon's last feature film, who is the artist and writer, I believe, for the show. But Paprika, wonderful, weird, strange art direction, a lot of dream sequences, a lot of really amazing directorial stuff going on, setting up shots, setting up scene transitions. Bizarre. If you like just like artistic stuff, if you're an artist in any way, go watch Paprika. It's a really really good show.
Trippy. So
It's trippy. It is a show that people might describe as trippy, if that tells you anything. Okay, so moving on to best show for a new anime viewer. This is actually a wonderful topic. So this is not, would this show be okay for somebody to view as a new viewer of anime? This is, of all of the shows that we have watched here on the podcast, of all of them, what are the shows that are the best for somebody who is a new viewer to anime? I don't know if I agree with this list, the 4 that we have on here, but we'll go through them. So number 1 on here is A Silent Voice. So this is interesting. This is a movie. This is one of the very few movies that we did. It's about a kind of a bully who in his childhood bullied this young deaf girl, and it's about him growing up and kind of being hated by everybody because of, I can't remember exactly why, but he experiences a lot of bullying after that, and then he meets the deaf girl again. It's a redemption story about him trying to turn his life around almost. And seeing from the perspective of, the people that he used to bully. And coming to peace and coming to terms with this girl that he bullied, who's has the obviously who's deaf, who's disabled in that way. Themes of suicide. It's a simple show. There's no demons. There aren't any magical flying monster cats. Like nothing crazy. It's a decent, heartfelt movie that is charming and that's well written. So definitely I think that's a good one for a first-time viewer of anime. Bad. What are your thoughts on that?
I love a Silent Voice. Silent Voice is, I think it's an excellent opener to anime for people who are new to anime, because it doesn't really have any of the anime like tropes that are off-putting to new viewers.
Yep, totally.
And it's also just a strong story. I personally love the protagonist being sort of like a villain who is realizing that they were a villain and redeeming themselves.
Totally. Good redemption story. And it's also just a nice simple story that I think is very identifiable and very understandable to a lot of people. And it's well written. So that's a great show for a new viewer. Number 2.
I would also say because it's a movie, it makes it easier.
Oh yeah, also it's less committal. You're not watching 24 episodes of something, you're watching one movie, which is like 2 hours.
Which is nice.
Which is really convenient. Number 2, Aggretsuko. So, Aggretsuko, it's fun. It's about a red panda. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who works at an office building, and her boss is a pig.
Made by the people who make Hello Kitty.
Made by the people who made Hello Kitty. To get her anger out and her frustration out, she sings death metal, like karaoke. It's charming. It's funny. It's on Netflix. And lots of people have that, which I think is a bonus for a lot of people. Because, like, where are you going to watch, if you want to watch a Silent Voice, where do you get Silent Voice? I guess you got to get it on Amazon, maybe?
Or buy it, yeah.
Aggretsuko, it's on Netflix. You have Netflix, or your friend has Netflix, or your mom has Netflix. So you could probably watch it. It's charming. It's funny. It's got a lot of very identifiable plots. The main character works in an office building. She has friends. She has trouble with her romantic life. She is trying to deal with her boss, who is a pig and also literally a pig. It's charming. It's a good show.
Somebody said the Ghibli movies. Ghibli movies are...
That's you see,
I
is...
would say certain Ghibli movies.
That's fair. Certain Ghibli movies. So that's a great. So those are okay. This is a great thing to bring up in chat. You're very right. She Spawn, or who is that? Epstein and Chill. Nice, solid. The Ghibli movies. We decided not to put the Ghibli movies on here. A, because we haven't done them on the podcast, and B, because everybody knows, or not everybody, but they're really prolific. I would definitely recommend, if we're going to aside this real quick, I would definitely recommend Spirited Away to almost anybody.
Fireflies, if you want to cry really hard.
I have not actually. I've actually not seen Grave of the Fireflies. I want to. Or the Wind Rises.
Didn't we start that? But
I don't think we did. I think we watched some like clips of it because we
watched the first 5 minutes and then we
It's more of a it's historical in a way.
It's a World War II film.
Right? Is it about the firebombing in World War II?
Yes.
The firebombings of Japan. Yeah. Horrific. So I haven't watched that. I've heard it's really good. Obviously, it's a Ghibli film, so it's probably really good. So the Ghibli movies, I would say there are certain ones like Spirited Away. I would recommend Spirited Away to almost any human being on the planet because it's a wonderful, identifiable, well-written movie that is completely inoffensive. I can't see anybody watching it and being like, oh, I didn't like that.
I also think Spirited Away is probably, you could argue, the most complete and best done Ghibli movie.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. I think, some of them, it's a great one. Some of them, like Princess Mononoke, I love. It's a wonderful movie. It's a little harder, I think, if you're not acquainted with anime. It's a little weirder. It's a great movie.
That was one of the first anime movies I ever saw.
My gripe with Princess Mononoke is that in the end, the big bad monster is a blob monster. And it's like...
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm
not
into blob monsters.
Yeah.
It's not just a blob, it's energy. It's energy.
It's an energy blob, okay.
And then there's like Howl's Moving Castle. I think
Well,
is
it's unfinished.
it's sad. It's unfinished. It's an astonishingly good movie up until the last bit where they rushed to close everything out.
Howl's Moving Castle could have
Could have
far-
been.
It could have been the
Yeah.
very best.
It could have been.
exceeded Spirited Away. 'Cause
Maybe
it was
we should.
It was,
We didn't do an
but they
episode
just-
on that, did we?
They just rushed it at
The-
the end because they didn't know what they were doing. And
Well,
they
no,
couldn't
I think
finish
they
it,
just
and they
maybe
were
they
out of
didn't have time. You know,
Maybe they
because
didn't have money, but like it was like if you showed someone maybe I think it's like the first half or first third of the movie and nothing else,
Oh,
they'd
yeah.
be like, oh my god, why
It's-
didn't you show me the rest? It was
it's-
so incredible. Then you show them the rest, and they'd be like, oh, okay.
yeah, Howl's Moving Castle is such a good movie. Anyways, that is a conversation we'll have to have some other time. This is one of the reasons we also didn't do the Ghibli films, because there is so maybe we'll have to do like a Ghibli day
There's
or
a
something.
lot to unpack.
There's a lot to unpack about that. If you want to recommend somebody a Ghibli film, recommend them Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
Nobody will ever be sad about watching Spirited Away, unless you really don't like human transformations. Then maybe
I
you'll be a little
rewatched
bugged by
My
it.
Neighbor Totoro and it made me happy.
Moving on. So best shows for New Year. There are two more. My Hero is the third one. My Hero is a good show, I think, for Western
So-
audiences because. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Bed.
No, I think you're right. You're gonna say
Yeah.
it's superheroes are easy to understand for Western audience.
Yeah, I think
it's also just so well written that
It is, it is.
It's hard for it not to be a.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, My Hero. It's super well written. Yeah, and like you were saying, it is a very understandable genre for the West. We get superheroes. We've had them for a long time, and I think something that My Hero does is it takes a genre that is very identifiable to most people in the West, and it gives it a very Japanese twist. Because we get superheroes, but then we get a character like, well, I'm trying to think, like the Frog Girl, or even Midoriya has an interesting kind of power. It's not like your standard superpower, because it's called, what is it called? They have a name for it, but so he's strong, but he's weak. It's great because instead of just giving the characters extra strengths, it gives them weaknesses too. Or it gives them it's balanced.
We should have had some sort of category for the writer managing power creep the best.
That's fair, because that's a tough one.
Agreed, yeah.
They do it exceptionally well in My Hero with Midoriya because he causes injuries to his body from using his all for one power, and
Right.
so it ends up being something where he's got infinite power but he can't use it, and they do it exceptionally well in ReZero. I think especially as we go finish up this next season of ReZero, we're going to see that how they give more power to Subaru, and the more power he gets, he's still like limited in his ability.
The more
to use
confined he
power.
is.
Well,
Yeah.
I like when anime doesn't give people ultimate power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I-
Well, you can't do it.
Like, but their anime are like, oh yeah.
The only anime I think I've ever seen, or the only show I've ever seen where the main character is given ultimate power that works, and you probably know what it is One Punch Man. And
Right,
that's
well-
because the show is about how that doesn't work, and how ultimate power is horrible. Awesome show. We didn't give any awards to One Punch Man, I don't think. We'll keep going through it.
One Punch Man, I think actually might fit on this list for some. I feel like
Absolutely.
first time watchers could see One Punch Man.
Yeah, that's fair.
and
I agree.
Well,
do
yeah,
pretty well.
that is fair. They could probably watch it and do pretty well.
It doesn't do a lot of the egregious anime tropes that normally would be the things I would be concerned with.
Because
put
that's
people off.
oftentimes that's kind of one of the things that when you're thinking about whether or not this would be a good anime for a first time viewer, is does it do any of the weird stuff that some anime does that makes people uncomfortable?
Will it make sense to
Yeah.
those? Yeah.
Is there
So-
any like fan service around 13-year-old Japanese high school girls? If no,
Yeah.
then maybe it's easier to watch.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, okay. So those are our best shows for new anime viewers. There's lots of them. Those are the ones that we came to our consensus about the other day.
But Parasite might be a.
Parasite's pretty good.
Pretty good.
it's a
'cause
good,
I
it's a
think
decent show. It's a really decent show.
It's more slice of lifey. It's more like a mellow plot, and I think that's
I think
mean,
it.
granted,
I think it had a
Parasite's
rough. I think the reason we didn't end up putting it on here is because it had a really rough ending. Like the ending kind of fell flat.
I hate
So,
that.
yeah.
last
And that's
episode.
ultimately with a show that you're
right.
trying to give to a new viewer, you want to leave them kind of wowed. You know, you want them to come out of that show being like, I want to watch another one, because that's your goal,
agree.
right?
I agree. I mean, I think that is a shame because people do remember things much more strongly from the end. And so, like in Parasite, having a very
it fell
like
flat.
Weakly fizzled out at the end.
It did.
Even
it did. It was a great show.
So Hellspawn watched Parasite after did it, and he even said like the last episode or the last two were like
Yeah.
didn't make sense.
Which was unfortunate, but okay. Those are the best shows. Next category. So we're already running over, but I want to get through the rest of the categories. So we're just gonna go. So the most emotionally impactful, and actually that was just the name of the category. Most emotionally impactful. Period.
Konosuba makes you feel good. I refuse to yield on this. To feel good every time it comes on.
That is fair. That's legitimate. It is positively emotionally impactful. Konosuba is a wonderful show. It is one of my favorite anime, actually. But the two we have here are a silent voice, because it is a wonderful show, or it's a wonderful movie about a lot of very common and understandable problems that a lot of people have experienced. And the other one is Made in Abyss, because the Nanachi arc in Made in Abyss is the single most tragic arc in any anime ever that I am aware of.
That part.
It's really sad. We're not going to go into it, but it's real sad. So, Silent Voice, Made in Abyss. Next one. This is a category we just had to do. Best time travel. Because
Steins;Gate.
Yeah, so Madoka Magica.
Yeah, Madoka.
Great.
Yeah.
ReZero, because it's a time travel show. He dies and goes back in time. It's a wonderful show. And it works really well with the mystery of the show, because it's very much a mystery. Most of the time, ReZero is a mystery.
Time travel works really well with mysteries. Those genres just go so well.
They mash really well. They're like spaceships and westerns. And then last but not least, of course, Steins;Gate. Because if you like time travel and you like anime, Steins;Gate's your thing. It's your jam, because it's great. All right.
It really is.
Go down to our kind of one-shot categories. Best use of English in the original Japanese. So this is what I mean by this is the best use of the show as the voice actors are speaking Japanese using English words in the original Japanese. And our winner of this category is Konosuba for the use of
They're so fun.
explosion magic.
Explosion!
Where she casts a spell of explosion magic and just shouts the English word explosion. Perfect. Best opening scene is Kill la Kill.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
No, okay. It's not the best opening. It's the best
Okay.
hook at the start of the series.
That's fair.
Hook. It's not. It's because
Best opening hook. Best catchy first scene. It's wacky. Go watch the first scene of Kill la Kill and you'll be like, yeah, that was pretty good. Okay, next category is best character title. And I think we might all agree on this one. The best title for a character in any anime is in oh gosh.
Made in Abyss.
Made in Abyss is Ozen the Unmovable Sovereign.
Oh yeah.
Because if your title is the Unmovable Sovereign, damn.
I like how evil introduced her too. Like she didn't give. Like she's badass.
She's unmovable. Okay. Our next category is the most narratively complex show, and that one goes to Bacchanal. Because Bacchanal has like 9 different plots, and there's like Oh my God! There's a hamster being attacked.
It's sheer volume. They have the sheer volume of characters without the show stopping making sense.
Right.
Without it not making sense
Yeah,
anymore. Like
it still
they have,
it still moves.
it moves and it works, and all the characters' stories are coherent.
Right.
There are shows with
Right.
far fewer characters who can't manage them well
And
enough to make them make
I
sense.
think that Bakano might literally, I think, have 4 or 5 different major plots. You can probably look it up, but it is a very narratively complex story. Good show. Moving on. Most tragic girl, and I think we've brought this up a bunch of times at this point,
Yeah.
is Mitty from Made in Abyss, who is the
Yeah.
character that Nanachi has to kill to free her from her eternal torment.
I'd like to throw a little wrench in there. I
Okay.
think Melty.
Who is?
I think Melty was like so sad, like because her sister's trying to kill her, her dad's being dumb as fuck, and like
What?
luckily she doesn't die.
You're Shield Hero. You're talking
Yeah.
about Shield Hero? Yes. Mouthy, blue hair.
Oh, the-
like chocobos.
So
Oh.
not as good as Mitty,
No.
but definitely up there.
That's fair. That's solid. Okay. Next one. We gave this award to the most obvious girl award, which goes to Rem in ReZero. Because
Yes.
Rem is the character that I think
Rem
you
is
ask
Rem.
pretty much anybody, hey, who's the best girl? Rem. Who's waifu? Rem.
Well,
Who's the best character? Rem.
There's no one you can ask who's best girl to who
Yeah.
won't at least in the back of their mind be like,
Yeah. Be like,
Rem.
maybe it's Rem.
or like if people are very much edgelords, they might at the back of their mind be like, I'm not saying Rem.
Yeah, I'm not saying Rem. And that's what, when we watched ReZero, I was like, I don't want to say Rem because everybody's going to say Rem. So
But
she does win an award. The most obvious girl. Okay, next category. Best novel idea that should have never become popular. And this goes to Goblin Slayer.
I would rephrase this category.
How would you phrase it?
I would phrase it as most successful novel idea that shouldn't have become popular after they did it because it's terrible.
Because it's really awful. Yes. I think that's enough.
Why did you popularize this Goblin Slayer? Manga was fine. It had its
He
problems.
kind of reminds me like the
Look where we are
Mandalorian.
now.
He never removes his mask. He kills goblins. Like,
Anyways, we don't need to talk about Goblin Slayer anymore because it's upsetting me a little bit. Okay. This is a great category, Hallen. Let's move right into this. The show that irritates Hallen the most. And that is Little Witch Academia.
I wanted it to be good.
Because pretty much every time we have a discussion about any anime at all, Hallen's like, God, I hate Little Witch Academia. I hate that show so much.
Yeah. Poison Witch from Little Witch Academia. I feel like I see this like character type in a number of things,
The
and I never
trope,
liked
yeah.
her. I never liked like lazy, slothful, like
Yeah.
kind of weird.
It was-
poison. Like, I don't know.
It was sad because we were all kind of excited for it, and I think it let us all down. And it's fair. It's not maybe the worst show ever, but I know it upsets Alan a little bit. Okay, our next category that we're going to jump right into is going to be, the most egregious use of German.
So this is. I would like to preface this by saying this is a category that, if we could remember all the uses of German in anime, we would have dozens of nominations.
We'd have lots of nominations.
We'd have lots.
Japan likes to misuse German a lot. It
really does.
I don't know why. But the most egregious use of German award goes to Madoka Magica, which names, I think, all of the witches and a number of the spells. Says them in German.
I think we can all agree we're only giving it to Madoka because we can't remember all the other uses of German.
That's fair, but it was really egregious when we watched Madoka. And we were, at the time, talking about, like, wow, German.
I like German.
It's great. It's a fun language.
Never
it's weird.
change anime.
Never change. Okay. The next award is the award is called the Most Beautifully Bizarre Girl Award, and it's going to go to Paprika. Because Paprika is a show it's a movie that is beautiful and very strange and well done, but I almost don't get it, but I get it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Most Beautifully Bizarre Girl.
Yeah, they do some interesting stuff. Yeah, I can agree with that. I would like to add a new category that I think we can all agree with.
What category can we add?
Which is the I guess it'd be something like the best character design that was ruined by having them wear underwear all the time. And I would like to give that to Ghost in the Shell.
Yep, standalone complex. Say it, quick, say it while Helen's not here. Okay, quick. Why did she wear underwear all the time? It was horrible. Just put clothes on. Hey, Helen, how's it going?
Hal?
Okay. I had to pod you, sorry. I didn't want to interrupt.
Understandable. That's fair. We didn't talk about anything interesting.
Nothing.
Next award. Best lighthearted / feel good atmosphere goes to Konosuba.
God, it's so good. It's so good.
Great.
After the podcast is over, I'm gonna listen to the after the credits song to Konosuba.
Seriously.
And I'm gonna slowly and happily just bob in my
I want all of you in the podcast right now.
I've seen it after the or just even Jillian in general. I mean,
everybody's watching this after the podcast. Go watch the season 2 opening credits for Konosuba, and then tell me that you don't feel happier after you watched them. It's wonderful. Next category. This is one of my favorite categories. The best premise for a show that should not have worked but did work.
I love this. Yeah.
And it goes to Kill la Kill. Because Kill la Kill, I don't know if I could even do justice to summing up the premise. But
it was just clever, and like the way that Trigger did it was like. So it started out, and you don't really know why, and you're like, okay, like it's just weird, but okay.
Oh yeah.
And then the way that it twists, you're like, oh, that's how it is. Like, shit goes down hard, and it's so otherworldly, I guess I would call it.
Right.
But like, it's interesting because we don't really feel like it's otherworldly, and then we start diving into that, and I thought that was really neat how they did that.
It was very well done. I guess I would say it is Outcast character comes to an academy that is more like its own small nation state controlled by the student council, who control the country with the use of school uniforms with magic powers. When she finds her school uniform that gives her magic powers, her father made for her, it feeds on her blood and then turns basically into a pair of underwear that she uses to fight. There is an underground movement trying to overthrow the government, whose, I think their premise is they're nudists.
We should also give it's a short speech, but we should give best speech to Kill la Kill.
And best speech to Kill la Kill.
Fear is freedom, subjugation is liberation, contradiction is truth.
Classic.
Okay,
it will be
human clothing.
It will be in the annals of anime history forever.
Good.
And the main aliens that are trying to take over the world and I think enslave the human race are doing it with fashion. Shouldn't have worked. If you'd have given me this like synopsis, I'd be like, nope, it's not going to work. Go home.
Right.
But it worked. All right. And this is our last category. Our last category for the day. Perhaps the most important category. Is the most, in all of the anime, the most heroic character ever. And the award goes to Moomin Rider from One Punch Man,
Yeah.
which
Woman Rider.
so this is the bicycle hero that doesn't actually have superpowers in One Punch Man. He rides his bicycle around trying to fight real monsters. Most heroic character. Wonderful. Watch One Punch Man. That is our list. That's everything we got. We had some a little bit disjointed in categories. I know, it's very sad. But that's okay. There's more anime. And we can keep watching it. You could probably keep watching anime forever, if you didn't care about yourself or your life or anybody around you.
Whatever. Anime's a
It's
good
fine.
thing.
Okay.
I shall agree is All Might.
All Might. Oh, that's fair. Okay, so those are our.
All Might's an interesting choice because All Might is he is the hero that was like the perfect ideal, but in the show, as you see him in the show, he's always like worn down from his years, and so he's never actually the ideal that
which is what
he
being a
had been at
hero
his time.
does to you. Okay, we're not going to get into any other discussions about any of the crazy stuff that we watched, that we've seen. These were our random list. We got Thai food. We sat down for several hours, and we talked about the stuff that we enjoyed the most. We watched quite a few anime on the podcast, or talked about a bunch. I do have one question, and it's going to be for the first podcast of the year this coming year. By the way, these lists, it's not just for this year. It's for technically the last couple of years, because we didn't do a best of last year, so we just threw shows in like My Hero that we did years ago. And hey, in classic,
I haven't watched like Dragon Ball Z though.
that's true. We haven't watched Dragon Ball Z. I actually was thinking it would be kind of fun to do like a review of a show that nobody does reviews of, like Dragon Ball Z. Like, who does a review of Dragon Ball Z? It's Dragon Ball Z. It just is. I don't know if we're gonna do that, but what is the show that we're gonna be watching next time? Do we know? We didn't talk about it.
I think Hallen. What's the gambling one?
Kakaguri.
Kakaguri.
K-A-K-E.
Cool. That sounds awesome.
UI. I think that one's really fun. It's different, and I think you're gonna have a lot to say about it. I don't know if it's gonna
I
be
understand.
bad,
That's fair. That is fair.
but it's fun.
Cool. All right. What was it called again?
Kakaguri.
Kakaguri. Okay. So, guys, you can join us next time. That's going to be Saturday, the 2nd of January in this year of our Lord, 2021.
Or right after New Year's Day.
Right after New Year's. It's going to be a good time. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks, everybody, for popping in and listening to our silly categories that we just made up one day.
They were great.
They were great. I loved it. Best show ever. The best anime podcast goes to us. It is said. That's not true at all. Forget I ever said that. Thanks, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a great night. Thank you.
Except for you, Tro.
Bye.
Get wrecked, Tro.
Get wrecked. Or getting wrecked.
Get wrecked.